Hi everyone, welcome to the Monday Report. Today is December 31st, 2018, and I'm looking at the week ahead until January 6th, 2019. So we've got a rich week that is really coming to a head and making this a really powerful new year, to be an old year to be ending and riding a strong wave, a strong current of evolution into the new year. And it really started on the natural new year with the winter solstice on December 21st, 2018. A key aspect has begun to form since December 22nd, 2018. Last week, the day after winter solstice, in conjunction with the full moon in Cancer, Saturn came in within a 10-degree orb of Pluto in Capricorn. So we are now very much in the resonant field of a strong evolutionary combination of Saturn and Pluto coming into a conjunction for this entire new year that we're riding into of 2019. And so that's the key aspect of 2019. Saturn and Pluto will come into a 3-degree orb of conjunction in April 2019, and then we'll actually come into the exact conjunction in 2020, January 12th. So we're a year away from a powerful conjunction, and that's how we're riding this. We're entering into the new year of 2019, and it's really coming in with a bang. Tonight, December 31st, 2018, Mars leaves the sign of Pisces and moves into Aries, actional Aries, go-getter Aries, expressive Aries, self Aries, Aries who's just like empowered and feeling clear and feeling streamlined and fully intact with one's senses, and Mars being ruled by Aries, it's a very powerful getting clear with oneself and what you want to do and how to do it and going for it. So it's kind of like a classic setup for New Year's. Like, right, we really are starting off in a fresh way, but we're starting off in a week that has everything to do with endings. We're in the last quarter moon. So this week ends with on January 5th and January 6th. It's like it is a week of wrapping up. That's what we're doing this week. So we're going in it with sort of a rush, with a feeling of empowerment with Mars and Aries. Mars going into Aries tonight at 6:20 p.m. Pacific time, and then tomorrow the Sun conjuncts Saturn. And for 10 days, from January 1st until January 10th, 11th, the Sun is moving within the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, and then the moon comes in and meets the Sun this Saturday, January 5th, with a new moon, and it's an eclipse. So it's the first new moon in this week of the first week of the year 2019. We're arriving to a new moon in Capricorn that is the first new moon of the natural new year. So, and in all that, we have Uranus stationing and then moving direct on the 6th. What does all this mean? It means it's a powerful week of continuing to wrap up the old story, wrap up the old order. It's time for new order. It's your order. It's you ordering your universe according to you within the natural laws. And that means self-knowledge. That is what's going to empower you. You understanding who you are, you identifying who you are, you defining who you are in an empowering way, in a positive mindset way, in a getting clear with yourself and who you are, and communicating who you are through your visions, through your, and how you're planning on accomplishing your visions. So maybe you decide that I'm going to take this up now. I've decided this is what I want to do. This really excites me, and I need to learn how to do this. So it's also a time of understanding you got things to learn and things to do, so that you can undo these powerful knots of how you've been unconsciously telling yourself holding yourself back, tying yourself up in knots. I'm not this, I'm not that, I can't do this, I won't do that, I shouldn't do that. It's about saying I am. I am, I am, I am. And what it takes for you to become that I am fully, and to fully form your vision and go frontal lobe. So moving from these unconscious patterns and getting clear too, because Capricorn has to do with consciousness, and in the consciousness advancing yourself. So we're in full up level. We're in a week of wrapping up the old story, wrapping it up. Last quarter moon, crisis in consciousness. So riding this week, this first week of the new year, and using this energy tonight that really comes in with Mars and Aries to get it, like, oh my, I'm riding this evolutionary wave of wrapping up the old story, because again it's the last quarter moon, moving from moon phase 24 this week into moon phase 1 on Sunday. And so it's continuing to vision what you want and getting what has to end. So all these patterns that keep undermining you, habits that keep undermining you, starting your day off in a new way, and getting that you're rewiring, you are changing, and that this is a time of up leveling. So we're really heading into a rich potent field of up leveling, moving forward and going to your next level, and all these aspects that we have this week. And so with this new moon coming in at 16 degrees Capricorn, and the whole next new moon cycle is about using that time to up level and clear out the old story, and start a new story. So Capricorn being, it's, spending more time alone, taking the time outs that you need to form these new habits, and take up new meditations that are just helping you to vision board what you want for your future, and then using the February 5th Aquarius new moon to really come out with yourself. So that's what this week's about. I think this week's really rich for just like, it's better, instead of starting off the year with getting out there, it's about getting in here. That's where you got to get out to. You got to get into you got to get into yourself. You got to define yourself and say, I can't spend more time alone, but powerfully alone, not in any kind of old states of depression and loneliness, and the way you've been used to doing things, or however it is it's different for everyone, and it's getting out of those ritual ways of thinking that are actually undermining you, and undermining your relationships, and undermining that future that you actually really want and that calls your heart. So Capricorn being a sign of just reduce. There's things to reduce. There's things to take out. So cleaning up your diet, say no to alcohol, or whatever it is, that these habits that are actually, it's good to take a break. It's good to identify it, because it also allows you to identify and synchronize with another part of yourself that you don't get to experience if you continue to do your life the way you're used to doing it. So it's Capricorn's a sign that does have to do with how do you do things, how you use your time, So with Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn now, in this, it's a wide conjunction. They're in a 10-degree orb conjunction in these next 10 days. So the sun's going to it's going to come into conjunction with Saturn tomorrow. So what a powerful way to start off the new year, January 1st, 2019, with this feeling of beginning. There is a real feeling of beginning with the planets and the rhythms and the timings. And another thing to work with is trust the timing of your life. You are arriving to you. You are your own universe. We live in a field of multiplicity, a rich, dynamic field of all of us working inside, all of us threading into the universal laws and natural time, but in a unique way. So you really, the primary central initiative, I'll say, for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is power and authority, right? Power and authority. And so ending those power struggles, I like the word struggles though. I'm gonna have to kind of come up with a definition with that one. Struggles, but struggles, power struggles, the internal power struggles that that are keeping self away from self, that are undermining yourself. So, and really coming into a true power and authenticity and within yourself, and a presence within yourself, and an inner voice that is sustaining you and encouraging you and keeping you on track as you trust the timing of your life, and that you are threaded in your unique way into the universe. And that is why the central power, the central resonant chord of Saturn and Pluto coming into a conjunction this whole year is working on that central of you threading yourself through your power and authority, because you need to be tapped in deeply to headquarters, heart quarters, so that you can tap into your vision, you can tap into your intuitive wisdom, you can tap into your gut instincts, and really thread yourself through, clear out that number one obstacle, self-doubt, not trusting yourself, undermining your own authority, because internally and emotionally your energy is still being sucked through old parent models, or however you were raised, and belief systems that you took on, and anger, and anger that's undermining, right? And resentment that's undermining, and possessiveness that's undermining, all those feelings that are actually locking and blocking and stagnating you and continuing those creative blocks. So this is about removing those creative blocks as you really truly claim that power and authority, and it's balancing out your lessons, like really understanding what your lesson is, and it's different for everyone, and it's really dynamic, and it's a really rich field of understanding what your lessons are. So what you have to learn, and as you are willing to accept that, because again, Saturn and Pluto coming together, it's really like the deep inside Pluto and Saturn, the one that's willing to face the truth, but don't judge it. That's the number one thing. That's actually one of the if anything, that's the number one block to our creative blocks, is the judgment, because it's these really intense feelings. If you get right into them, they're kind of these really mean feelings, and and thoughts that we're having. And so when you have judgment of yourself, you're actually blocking yourself. And that judgment, that is, it's a two-way street. Judgment doesn't just go, oh, I'm judging other people too much. No, you're judging yourself. These are deep-seated belief systems that are woven deeply into emotions, and you just keep getting into those layers, and you'll find that it's actually you and you and you and you and you that's blocking you and your relationships and your career and all this, and this experience of you just arriving to the present moment with non-judgment that allows you to experience life a heck of a lot more fully, and allows you to arrive into the present with a more powerful release of the past and a vision for the future that allows you to really come into a conscious creativity, that you're the creator of your life. I am the seat of my power and authority. And to truly have power and authority is to have a presence that is in grace and is in reception of creativity and inspiration, that has a healthy relationship to the past and a healthy relationship to the future. So this week, use it to power up for your month ahead, because the month ahead between January 5th and February 5th we have our Chinese animal new year that comes in on February 5th with the Aquarius new moon, and that's the second new moon after the winter solstice. The second new moon after the winter solstice, Aquarius new moon, we begin the year of the pig, the year of the boar, and so that enters us into another So using the Capricorn new moon that is a partial eclipse moon cycle, and then we have a full moon, 2 weeks later in the sign of Leo, and that's an eclipse as well. We are eclipsing the old story. It's a massive time of letting go. That's the benefit of the time. The best way to use the energies of the next 5 weeks is clearing out the old models, taking the time out you need, getting clear with yourself to tune into your inner voice and the inner heart quarters, to listen to the objectives, to listen to what you need, to get tuned into your needs, saying no to things that need to be said, that if you're overextending your time, and getting real with your time, getting real with how much time you have and how much energy you have in a day, and what's de-energizing you. So taking breaks from people, taking breaks from habits, starting new. Another way is, if you have a certain way that you do your first 2 hours, experiment with that. So also experiment with what works for you and energizes you. I started taking walks in the early morning, and it energizes me in the cold, and I love it. So that's an example. I used to just get up and just do my morning, not go outside, and just feel like I have to get onto the computer and all the things. So that's just an example of okay, I'm going to start doing a morning walk, and so I get up and go on a walk, and that feels really good to me and really enlivening and helps me connect to myself. So it's just finding new things that help you connect to yourself. And also, because we're in Saturn and Capricorn, listening to the strategies of other people's success models, people that you admire, people that you're mentoring in ways, whether you call them your mentor, there's somebody you admire, and finding these time-tested strategies of success fulfillment models and follow them. So it's just that's part of wrapping up any kind of strategies that aren't actually strategies. There could be escapism strategies to keep escaping the truth and the reality. But now Saturn and Capricorn really wants to bring you into there's some time-tested rules that are good, are sensible, and will help you order yourself. So listening to other people's success models, listening to how other people spend their first 2 hours of the day to really ground in, connect in, and power up for the day ahead, and learning how to create your reality consciously, so that you can be a deliberate being, so that you can be deliberate with your consciousness and how you're using your time. So because that's what it's all about, right? We're really arriving to this feeling of whoa, time is up in a lot of ways. So on a bigger macro collective level, human family circle level, time is up. We are hearing it in the news. We are hearing it we've got to get real with the climate change. We've got to get real with all these things. I mean, people, the population continues to increase, all the needs, because as more human beings are created, more needs are created, and we have a limited amount of resources, so we are getting desperate we need new solutions. So that's what this year is about too. We need new solutions. And one of the solutions is going to come from each one of us tapping into our dream, tapping into our desires, tapping into our passions. And I believe how we're going to change the world is through entrepreneurship. So everyone, imagine, I believe it's in our blueprint. Being our own boss is in our blueprint, and we're all our own boss. We all have gifts and talents and skills and passions, and as we tap into that deep need of our blueprint to fulfill fulfill ourselves, I believe that's where all the solutions are, because I believe we love the earth. That's part of our blueprint. The child loves the earth. The child cares about the skies, cares about the planet, and the child is energized. So that's where getting in tune with ourselves. So this new moon that's coming up too, the moon being the child and the sun being your optimal destination, you know, your destiny. It's about tuning, it's about tapping into your destiny, the destiny that you want. You are in charge, you're in the driver's seat, you're connecting into your power and authority, and tapping into that, the visions, the desires, and the disciplines. So that's another word we need. We need discipline, and part of how we arrive to discipline is also self-dignity. So there's so dignity, discipline, so self-honoring. You really listening to that inner accord that is powerfully forming right now. We are literally in a time of ending and a time of new beginning. And in these times, we need times of transition. So that's what we're in. We're inside of a powerful time of transition, and to use it well, to learn how to listen to yourself, take the time outs, and carve out what you want, and you getting clear with yourself and what you want, getting real with yourself about what you want, and attuning to that positive mindset attitude is what this time is all about. All right, everybody, Happy New Year and blessings, and we're all in it together, and there's only one me and there's only one you, and how do I want to wrap this up? Yeah, I'm just looking forward to staying connected and seeing what unfolds this year. And so stay tuned for my Star Power Alchemy YouTube channel and everything that I'm developing, continuing to be developed in new ways. So much love, everybody, and let's stay connected.